Let me ask you something honestly. If someone told you that today, before you sleep, you could secure a home in Jannah, would you ignore it? People spend their entire lives chasing property in this world. They calculate loans, they plan careers, they sacrifice comfort. But what if I told you some of the homes in Jannah are built in minutes and not by wealth, not by status, but by specific deeds the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam guaranteed. In this video, we are not speaking about dreams. We are not speaking about imagination. We are speaking about 10 authentic actions that literally build houses for you in Jannah. Some of them you can do tonight. Some of them take less than 5 minutes. Some of them require patience, character, consistency. But every single one of them carries a promise. And here is something you need to think about. Every single day, you are building something. Either you are building a future here, or you are building your forever there. If you miss this reminder, you might continue doing good deeds, but you might miss the ones that come with a guaranteed house attached. Imagine meeting Allah and realizing you could have built 10 homes, but you simply did not know. Tonight we fix that. Tonight you walk away knowing exactly what builds you property in Jannah. And maybe before this Ramadan ends, you will have already started building your neighborhood there. Now let us begin. Let us begin with the first deed. The one that sounds big, but carries a promise so clear. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man bana lillahi masjidan, bana lillahu lahu baytan fi lil Jannah." Whoever builds a masjid for Allah, Allah builds for him a house in paradise. Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. Pause with that promise. You build for Allah here, Allah builds for you there. And understand something. Allah does not need buildings. His kingdom does not increase because you donate. But your eternal home increases because you do. Now maybe you are thinking, I cannot build an entire masjid. That is for wealthy people. That is for large donors. But look carefully at the wording. Whoever builds a masjid for Allah, scholars explain this includes participation. Even a share, even a brick, even helping establish a place where people pray, even supporting rent for a prayer space, even contributing to a Quran class, even placing a prayer mat in a workplace. The reward follows sincerity, not size. And this deed teaches something powerful. When you build Allah's house in this world, you are saying, Ya Allah, I prioritize your worship. So Allah responds with generosity. He gives you something far greater, not a temporary structure, not something that ages, a home in Jannah. And think about this practically. How many years do people save for one house? 10 years? 20 years? Here, one act of contribution, and the King of all kings promises you property in eternity. Is that not the greatest investment? The beauty of this deed is that it connects dunya and akhirah. You build something people pray in, and every sajda made there, every tear shed there, every Quran recited there becomes part of your structure in Jannah. This is not symbolic language. The Prophet ﷺ spoke about a house, real walls, real space, real reward. So ask yourself tonight, is there a masjid being built? Is there a prayer space struggling? Is there a community trying to establish worship? Maybe your name will not be on a plaque. Maybe no one will know, but Allah will know. And somewhere in Jannah, construction will begin because you chose to build for Him first. Now let us move to something even more powerful. Something that does not require money, does not require public recognition, does not require a campaign. It only requires you and your prayer mat. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, there is no Muslim servant who prays 12 voluntary rak'ahs every day, apart from the obligatory prayers, except that Allah builds for him a house in paradise. Sahih Muslim. Every day, 12 rak'ahs. And Allah builds a house for you. Let that sink in. Not once in a lifetime. Not once in Ramadan. Every single day you maintain them. Now, what are these 12? The most consistent ones the Prophet ﷺ prayed were 2 before Fajr, 4 before Dhuhr, 2 after Dhuhr, 2 after Maghrib, 2 after Isha. That is it. And notice something beautiful. Most of these were prayed at home, meaning your quiet private worship becomes a private palace in Jannah. Sometimes we say we are too busy. Work is heavy. Schedules are tight. We barely manage the fard prayers. But think about this differently. If someone told you, every day you show up for 15 extra minutes, you earn property that never ends, would you still say you are too busy? We spend hours scrolling, hours watching, hours planning worldly upgrades. But 12 rak'ahs builds something eternal. And here is something even more powerful. If you maintain this for 1 year, 365 days, that is 365 homes. And Allah's generosity is not limited by your math. This deed transforms ordinary days into construction days. Every dhuhr break becomes an investment. Every maghrib pause becomes structure. Every quiet moment before Fajr becomes foundation. The beauty is in the consistency. Because Allah loves what is small and continuous. So ask yourself, what if from tonight you never let a day pass without these 12? By the time you reach the end of Ramadan, how many homes could already be standing, waiting for you? Now let us come to something that almost feels unbelievable. A deed that takes only minutes. No money, no long standing, no exhaustion. Just your tongue and sincerity. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Man qara'a qul huwa Allah ahada ashara marrat bana Allahu lahu baytan fil Jannah." Whoever recites Surah Al-Ikhlas 10 times, Allah builds for him a house in paradise. 10 times. This surah is not long. You can recite it in seconds. And yet it carries weight that is immense. Because it summarizes the foundation of Jannah itself. It speaks about Tawheed, about Allah being one, about Him being independent, about Him not having equal. When you repeat it, you are not just reciting words. You are affirming the core of your faith. And Allah responds by building you a house. Think about the mercy in that. Some people think building Jannah requires extraordinary acts. But here is a deed that can be done while driving, while waiting, before sleep, after prayer, 10 times. And a home is built. And notice something beautiful. The hadith does not restrict it to once per lifetime. It does not say once per day. If you recite it 20 times, 30 times, 40 times, who can limit Allah's generosity? Imagine finishing your salah and before getting up, you quietly recite Surah Al-Ikhlas 10 times. Construction begins. Imagine making it a habit every morning. Imagine adding it every evening. Small habit, massive result. And here is the deeper lesson. Allah wants your heart attached to Him. And when you attach your heart to Tawheed, He attaches your name to Jannah. Sometimes we underestimate small deeds because they feel simple. But the value of a deed is not in how difficult it feels. It is in how beloved it is to Allah. 10 recitations, minutes of your time, a house in eternity. Tell me honestly, How many minutes have you spent today on things that will never build anything for you? Now let us move to something that happens every single night. Something you already do. You go to sleep. But what if your sleep could build you a home? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught a dua before sleeping. He said that whoever makes wudu lies down on their right side and says, there is no refuge and no escape from you except to you. I believe in your book which you revealed and in your prophet whom you sent. And in one narration, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that for the one who says this sincerely, a house will be built for him in Jannah. Look at the meaning. You say to Allah, there is no refuge from you except to you. So Allah gives you refuge. You say, I entrust my affairs to you. So Allah builds you security. You say, I submit myself to you. So Allah rewards you with shelter that never collapses. And think about this deeply. Sleep is vulnerability. You close your eyes. You lose control. You cannot protect yourself. And in that moment, you declare your trust. You hand yourself back to your Lord. And Allah responds with a home in paradise.